What's up guys, Freezy here. One of the new event ship, Birmingham, had her second skill changed last minute before the server went live. The second skill originally grants plus 30% evasion rate when getting hit, and that was changed to plus 40% evasion stats the moment before server opened. While last minute changes to ships happens fairly often in Azurlane, a change this big is a rare case. But wait, some of you guys might think, what is the difference between 30% evasion rate and 40% evasion stats? Why is it a big change when there's only a 10% difference on the numbers? To answer this question, we first have to understand how exactly is hit rate calculated. There's gonna be a lot of numbers in this video, but I'll visualize it and make it simple for you guys. So first, let's go over which stats are used to calculate hit rate. When calculating the chance for each projectile to hit, the game uses mainly the accuracy stats and the evasion stats. The accuracy stats is called hit in the game, but I find it to be somewhat confusing, so I'll just refer to it as accuracy in this video. Every ship in the game, including enemies, have evasion and accuracy stats. You can find the evasion stats in the ship detail page, but for some reason the devs decided that accuracy stats is a hidden stat. So the only way to know it is through data mining. Luck and level also have a small impact on hit rate, but for the purpose of this video, we'll ignore it for the most part. Here is the entire formula for calculating the chance to hit for each projectile. The formula seems long, but it's really a combination of 3 parts. And only the first part is something you have control with. So we'll just focus on the first part. As you can see, the hit rate is calculated with a combination of attacker's accuracy stats and the defender's evasion stats. To get a better understanding, let's use an example here. The boss at D3, Dark Takao, has 61 accuracy stats, which is very standard for the late game enemies. So if we ignore the couple percent difference from level and luck, here's the chance for her to hit our vanguards. Now let's see what happens if we put one high performance steering gear on our vanguards. The steering gear gives plus 40 evasion stats. As you can see, evasion gear is very effective on low evasion ships like heavy cruisers, but for the destroyers, not so much. Now let's look at a few evasion stat boosting skill and see their effectiveness. As you can see, boosting evasion stat does not translate to a huge boost in final evasion rate. So the overall conclusion is, evasion stat suffers a lot from diminishing returns. The higher it gets, the less effective it will be. Unlike the evasion stat, evasion rate boost gets directly added after the calculation, so it is far more effective than evasion stat boosts. To understand how big the difference is, let's use the changes to Birmingham as an example here. Birmingham at level 120 has 96 evasion. The first version of Birmingham's skill gives plus 30% evasion rate, so when the skill procs, Dark Takao only has 18.4% chance to hit Birmingham. Obviously that's a bit overpowered, as that much evasion rate is gonna make Birmingham extremely tanky. After the change, the skill gets plus 40% evasion stats. Now when the skill procs, the hit rate is 40.9%, which is not even close compared to the first version. In Azurlane, evasion rate boosting skills are super effective at boosting survivability. The most common one we see is the smokescreen skill, which gives evasion rate boost to all the vanguard ships. The Chinese sister, despite having awful stats, are extremely tanky thanks to their 30% evasion rate boosts. The accuracy stats in Azurlane directly counters evasion stats. The interesting thing about it is that when the target has very low evasion, the accuracy stats is completely useless. Since we have gone through enough numbers already, I'll go straight to the conclusion. Here's the general accuracy range for each ship type at level 120. The general conclusion is that accuracy is useless in the early game because enemies have very low evasion. However, when you reach chapter 9 and beyond, you'll start to see misses on bosses, especially the destroyer bosses. Battleships benefits a lot from accuracy gear late game, and Vanguard ships generally don't need accuracy gears. Finally, let's talk a bit about the luck stat. We can now see the luck stat for each ship, and it affects the hit rate and critical hit rate calculation by a bit. Assuming both sides are on equal level, at most, luck can increase or decrease hit rate by 10%. Ships with very high luck will be a lot more tanky than low luck ships. And the best example here is Yukikaze. She has extremely high luck, which pushes her evasion rate way above any other destroyers, and thus making her extremely tanky. The PR ships have 0 luck by default, but their other stats are higher than normal ships. Overall, having higher luck does make a difference. Ships with higher luck are generally more powerful as well. And that's it for this video. Like and subscribe if you find this useful. Thanks for watching, and have a nice day.